Hi, welcome to video number 4. This is a continuation of lesson 2, dealing with the open throat or the yawn. That if any of these exercises are the least bit challenging, it's just because your core muscles are not as strong as they need to be to fully support an open, relaxed throat. So I'll invite you to continue to work with the first couple of videos, which is all encompassing what I would consider lesson 1. Keep hissing, keep practicing the motorboat. Once you can successfully sing the motorboat with vowel sounds, which is what we're going to do next as a warm-up exercise, without the lips stopping, then you know you're ready for this next section. But please keep in mind that the waistline muscles deserve to be as strong as they can be. And that's the only way to keep that yawn in place. So, to review and as a warm-up exercise, we're of course going to start with just a few hisses, taking that low, deep belly breath, but this time instead of just a single hiss 5 times, and on that 5th hiss, hold it for as long as you can. But do so by pushing as hard as you can through those clenched teeth. Ready? Notice what muscles are breathing for you. And feel those lower bottom body muscles go grip, 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 grip. One more time. Ready? Good. Now, as I'm speaking, continue that hissing exercise and make darn sure that all of those muscles are working and that none of those muscles above the waist are working by hissing and rolling your shoulders at the same time. Going on then with the motorboat exercise, again, just a little bit more advanced work than we were able to do with the last 3 videos. This time with the motorboat, attempt at least to sing an ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh. So the same 3 notes up and back to keep the duration and the intervals small and short to remind the throat how to stay open as we ascend a little bit at a time. This time I want what I'm doing with the back of my tongue. If I weren't doing the motorboat, it would sound like ooh-wee, 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 ooh. But with the motorboat, notice that demands the use of the tongue muscles from within, and at the same time perpetuates that breath to come forward with that much velocity to keep the lips going. We'll think about the yawn in a little bit, but right now we're just warming up the bottom body muscles and at the same time relaxing the throat by default, remember. So ooh-wee-oo as best you can. Ready? We'll start here and go down first. So I want and down 1. And down 1. Make sure your gut muscles are breathing for you. And down another 1. And down again. This is almost to my lowest. Now again, recognize why the lowest notes take up so much wind, those long, slower moving sound waves, and the voice that I typically speak on, and I'm used to using the throat muscles, it's just going to take more wind, especially enunciating the vowel sounds now, going back and forth between the oo and the e. So let's start here and go up now. Ready? And here now. Notice how hard it is to decide what voice to be in. In other words, we're dissolving the glitch just by pushing through with this much wind. And here now. Notice what the tongue muscles are doing. Notice if the throat wants to close. And when you don't let it close, how much wind is coming through? And here now. And here now. Make sure your upper body muscles are loose. And here now. Make sure the neck is loose by turning the head slowly. And just a few more higher. And here. Last one, I promise. Now relax. Trying to keep as much of the yawn in place as possible. Now as a warm-up, think first about yawning as you inhale.
Remember that helps that yawn form as we push out that belly, so now the throat muscles are open and more prepared. Now as I sing the motorboat,
I want to have you do triplets down, which is yet another musical pattern. So let's start a little bit higher yet, almost where we left off, but not quite. So what it's going to sound like is this. Hear the triplets? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hold. But with the yawn and the motorboat, it will sound like this. And you can check every once in a while with your fingertips lightly on your larynx to see how open your throat really is or not. So do that with me a few times. Yawn as you inhale. Are you almost out of breath? I am. Do it from here now. And do it from here. Yawn as you inhale. Do it here now. Over exaggerate that open throat. Yawn like crazy. Ready? Notice how that forces the lips to relax all at the same time, which again takes a whole lot more wind. Do it from here now. Ready? Yawn like crazy. Do it from here now. Keep that yawn. Notice how everything is starting to open more. And a few more down. Yawn. And here now, yawn. And a few more, yawn. Watch the belly as I inhale with the yawn.
And I'm completely out of breath, yawn. And a few more, keep that yawn. Notice how much wind that requires.
And again, I must wipe my chin. That takes so much physical energy, especially getting down into those lower notes where I typically still want to grip. And if I were singing those on a vowel sound, chances are I still might want to sound like this. Oh, where if I'm yawned, ooh, there's a whole lot more breath. It's almost impossible for me to get into my throat-driven, nasty, angry chest voice sound with all of that restricted edge. So for bedside, the more I can yawn, the more wind I must push through my body. The more wind I push through those vocal cords, again, the fatter, rounder sound comes out. And the fatter, rounder sound that comes out, the more those lullaby tones can be released from the core muscles. So to help perpetuate that yawn on an even more delicate, meaningful, profound exercise, what we've done up until now with this particular video serves as really good warm-up exercises to go into what we're moving into now. Keep your fingertips lightly on your larynx. Know that, of course, you're not holding the larynx down from outside your body. That's impossible. But the fingertips can really detect where the larynx, I should say, wants to close up, where my vowel sounds get strident. I can feel exactly what's going on into here with my fingertips lightly on my larynx. So with my fingertips on the Adam's apple or the larynx, as I inhale and yawn at the same time with the tummy out,
I can feel exactly how low that goes. I can then use those fingertips to feel
where the larynx wants to creep back up again, especially for this exercise. We're going to start this next exercise on a very low tone. We're not even going to go through the do, re, mi's. For me, I think do, re, mi, re, do, and my throat wants to close. I'm thinking up and down. They're too logical. They're too familiar. So think about instead the notes in between the notes, so to speak. The notes in between do and re. They're half steps. They're teeny weeny, and they're very difficult to sing well. So singing the half steps or the notes in between the notes almost enables my body muscles to think I'm singing on one single tone. Consequently, I can allow my core muscles to move that vibration up and down for me. The passage will sound and feel like this. On a very tight-lipped ooh sound, which makes like an inverted funnel, ooh, seems to be a whole lot easier and more open than ah or oh, where the tone wants to come forward in my mouth because the throat wants to close. So for this exercise, stay on the oo vowel exclusively at first. So again, starting very, very low, yawn as you inhale, it will sound and feel like this. You can barely feel the movement. That takes every bit of my breath. And I've been doing this for a while. Think up a little bitty half step and try it there. Ready, yawn as you inhale.
Feel that cartilage fall, and now keep that throat yawned. Ready. Recognize it's gonna sound a little woofy at first. That's okay. Remember, this is just an exercise.
Yawn as you inhale again. Feel that larynx drop way down. Now, if your throat wants to close a little bit, make sure that your lips are a tight ooh shape, and make sure that that yawn is there consistently. Run out of breath before the exercise is over if you have to, just to keep that yawn in place. Ready? Now take it here, yawn as you inhale. Take it here, yawn as you inhale. Take another breath and yawn as you inhale. Notice how much more challenging it might be to keep that yawn open as you ascend. Ready? Came up. Do you feel it? Try it again. That took every bit of air to keep that throat open. The higher I go, it requires more and more air so that that glitch doesn't happen, so that my throat muscles don't decide what voice to help me be in. It's completely open and out of the way, but notice how many more muscles are starting to work in your abdominal, your side muscles, your back muscles. Notice how strong those muscles are and how much stronger they will be in just a few more weeks of this kind of practice. But don't stop there. If your throat's still open, let's keep going. Yawn as you inhale. As soon as your throat muscles close, stop and start over again on the lowest notes. In other words, rewind the video and start it again so that your throat can stay open all the way up as you go. I'm going to keep going. Yawn as you inhale. That took every ounce of breath I had to keep that yawn possible. Ready? Yawn again. Notice if this is getting challenging. It's just because your throat's not used to staying open, nor are your waistline muscles used to contracting this strongly. But keep going if you can. Yawn as you inhale. Now, as I ascended when I was first learning this exercise, I had to play a game with myself or I wasn't going to do it. It did get a little tedious. So whenever my throat muscles wanted to close and that larynx wanted to come up, I stopped and started all over again. Eventually, of course, the goal will be to go all the way up into the highest range with that open throat, that fully yawned. At first, it may take a while before your throat can remember how to stay free and open and out of the way, especially in the high range where it was used to tightening so much to help you up there. So consistently open the throat, consistently try to go through those half steps so that eventually, and I remember we stopped here, we can do this. Now, That just takes so much wind. But the eventual desired outcome, of course, is to be able to do this all the way up. Now notice, of course, as I got higher and higher and higher, my mouth did need to open more to an O or an ah. But remember, on those more open vowel sounds is even more important, but more of a challenge, to keep that yawn in the throat. So practice the yawn on the oo with the fingertips engaged with the larynx so you can feel what's going on under there. And start low. So these exercises are perpetuating the strength of the core, and gaining more and more strength will help us keep that throat more and more open no matter what vowel sound we're singing.